you are from the Dominican Republic. As far as your ancestry goes, of course, not based on DNA test because you've never done it, but just as far as you're concerned, as far as you've traced, what is your ancestry looking like?
So that's an interesting question because I continue to dig and ask my family members, especially the older ones. I asked my mom today, Mommy, I know because I met my great grandmother. I vaguely recall her, but I never met my great grandfather. So today I asked her, like, hey, Mommy, how was your grandfather? Like, what, physically, what did he look like? What were his physical attributes? And she said, and by the way, for the record, in the Dominican Republic, colorism is a thing. And for example, una persona india that's a color. Indio is a color. Like a ti, there's Dominicans that walk around that look like you, and they would classify you as, oh, él es un indio claro. Hay un indio oscuro. Hay un morenito claro, morenito oscuro, un negrito, pero no tan negro. Like, there's different classifications, right? My mom said, oh, él era indio. Cuando uno dice indio, también puede ser a lo que le decían a los nativos, que son los indígenas. Él tenía rasgos indígenas. Oh, sí, ya, porque mira mi hermana, fulana de tal. She said, look at my sister. My mom is lighter complexion, but I have some family members that are not as light. I have, naturally, I have freckles. There's a cousin of mine who has, her whole face is full of freckles. Like, she was born with red hair. So I'm still digging into that side. So I went a little bit backwards and I asked her, okay, so who was his father? Do you know who your grandfather's father was? And she again confirmed that he was also Indio, meaning referring to the color of the skin.
Sure.
So that's my mom's side. It's very mixed and diverse, but it's mainly blancos y creo, I suspect, like you.
Okay.
Because I was looking at my grandmother's pictures when she was younger, and if you see her, she resembles what indigenous people would, physically look like. Sure. in a little bit, That's my mom. And then asking my dad, here's the thing too, Ricardo, like, in la República Dominicana, with the wiping out of a whole community of people, it's more difficult to trace it back because they wanted to erase completely the tracing of African lineage and the tracing of Taino people. So with my father, I could only go back as far as his father. No, sorry, his grandfather, which was my great-grandfather, and he was Haitian. And then I asked him, so who was he married to? He doesn't know. I asked my dad about his mom's side, and then I asked him about his father's side, and he cannot get past his grandfather. Meanwhile, with my mom, who is more of the white descendants, I could trace back up down to like her great-great-grandfather, basically.
That's usually the case.
I ask,
yep.
Hay más maneras de buscar cuando las personas son blancas, pero es más difícil. It's more difficult for you to find out and trace back your indigenous roots. That's where I come from right now, from, as far as roots and lineage.
Well, you see, the reason why I asked you as far as your ancestry, not based on DNA, of course, DNA test results, but more of how much you could trace. The reason why I asked that is because last night we were on a live stream, you and I, and you were talking about, or at least you mentioned that you fear doing a DNA test because it may potentially come back with more European, and if that were the case, it would really devastate you.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate? Because the reason why I need you to elaborate, or I would hope that you elaborate, is because I think audience could relate to this dread.
This is like too early for me to get emotional here. It's like it's a sensitive subject for me because I haven't healed that. I haven't worked on that. There's a lot of things that I can share and I can talk about because lo he superado, ¿verdad? Pero eso yo no lo he enfrentado, therefore yo no lo he superado. I haven't faced that, so how can I overcome that?
Sure.
It's a sensitive subject for me because I don't want a paper to seal the fact that I may come from abusers, from rapists, from criminals, from horrible people of a society who I don't want any type of connection to. I did not ask to be born from these people. But yet I might be. It's up in the air right now.
Sure.
And when I get the results, I'm going to share them with you. But I'm scared to know the truth if that truth is dark. And I'm a mom, and then sharing that part with my son one day, that's just gonna, like, you know, it's just,
yeah.
I don't want him to see his identity as, damn, my ancestors were fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is fucked up. You know? So I'm scared. I'm scared because my father did mention that his father wasn't black. And he wasn't white either. He was trigueño. That's another word, too, in the Dominican Republic. Trigueño. Apart from prieto.
Yeah.
And that's a derogatory term. Pero it's a subject, Ricardo, que is just, like, very sensitive. It's very sensitive to me because I don't understand till this day, and this is just me personally, I don't understand to this day what was the point. Like, why? You guys had your land. You guys had riches. You guys had gold. You guys had rubies, emeralds. You guys had a king and queen. You guys had your space. Why go into the world, into the ocean, and, like, and abuse children, mothers, the elderly? You know, talking about that, I always wanted to, well, I guess from, like, the past, I like to write also. That's something that I can relate to you on. I want to write a script for a movie if the script was flipped in our society. Like, what if when the colonizers arrived, Africans were able to defend themselves, and then they actually controlled them?
Sure.
What would happen to, like, the ripple effect of that? It's mind-blowing. And what if the Taino people were able to come together and defend themselves because that was their land? There was a movie, I'm not sure if you remember, oh my god, I don't even remember the movie. It was an indigenous guy, but he was fighting his own, like, another indigenous tribe. He was alone. And then he set up traps because he knew.
Apocalypto?
It's like, if you... Yes.
Okay.
There you go. So what if, even if they came with guns, even if they came with all the ammunition, the knives, and all these types of things, what if the Taino people were like, you know what, this is our land, we know our shit, like we're gonna set with traps, and you guys are gonna get out of here, and you guys are gonna be scared, and if you guys come back, it's gonna be even worse. They're gonna, but I always think about that.
The movie Apocalypto, horrible movie. I don't appreciate when white people create stories and or movies like that, because they create them to further demonize marginalized indigenous people in a way to justify, look what these people are doing to themselves.
Right.
So I mean, we in a way came to save them from their own self-extinction.
Yeah. The savages, right?
Sure. Was actually ironic. I have that movie. I watched it one day, but I didn't watch it with the regular audio. I watched it with the director's commentary, which is Mel Gibson's commenting each scenario, and as the movie's playing, instead of listening to the movie, you listen to Mel Gibson and the other guy who are pretty much walking you through the scenes, right?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Which I already knew this, but a lot of people won't know because they watch movies like that and they think it's real. But as the movie was playing and Mel Gibson was describing, the movie, that scene where they capture these indigenous, this particular tribe, and then they're like throwing the spears at them and telling them to run. In that particular scene, when it pops up, Mel Gibson says, oh, he's describing, oh, the way we put this together. Da, da, da. He's like, oh, and by the way, guys, for those who are watching, this particular scene, things like these never happened. They never did this to each other. And also, in this area, actually, is where they played soccer. But at that time, it was not called soccer. It was called something else. I forgot the name of it. But white folks romanticize us wiping each other out, romanticize us being savages, that they grab our culture, if you will, and they make it bloody. Like that scenario is not a place of murder. It never was. White people reimagined it as a place of murder, but originally it's a place where they play sports. So you see, that's one of the most dangerous things that white folks has ever done, and that we as non-white people have allowed white people to do, which is allow them to depict us in whatever way they want, and then for us to believe it. So what is the result in us allowing white folks, our colonizers, the people that try to wipe us out, and then say, look, this is who you were? Very problematic. A good example with that is this. I remember years ago I used to watch this show. It was called Ancient Aliens. He was talking about Maya history. The pyramids, according to him, but really the temples in Mexico and in Guatemala and Belize, right? The temples had to be built by aliens, had to be built by a very advanced species of extraterrestrials that came to this planet and built those. Why is this the conclusion of what white people think, that they were built by a highly advanced civilization of aliens? Well, because these savages were not capable of such advanced abilities. No way. There's no way that these people that we have taught y'all are very inferior to us built something that even today with our advanced technology we cannot replicate. They didn't do that. Let's not credit these people. So you mean to tell me the people that came and wiped us out are allowed to depict who we are, what we did, our culture, our lifestyle, and everything that they picked about us is literally murder, bloodthirsty murderers? So that movie Apocalypto,
I'm not glorifying the movie at all.
No.
The idea.
Sure. I understood exactly what you were trying to explain, but I felt the need, just because you mentioned the movie, I felt the need to touch it because I think it's important. But